Must be Newfields.
To do with that. John's not here. I am.
Must be.
Must be Newfields.
Right, we will call our meeting to order for February 12th, 2026. If we could all introduce ourselves for the record, starting with John.
John Hayden?
Bill Zerr.
Mike Price. Michael Sedino, alternate.
Jamie Thompson.
Catherine Tarnowski.
Glenn Greenwood, planner.
Fantastic.
So we need to make a motion to have Michael sit.
No, he's allowed to, as a chair, to
Just
seat alternate if necessary. That's somebody's complaint.
So I guess we'll start with a Muddy River lighting update.
Yes, I've been in discussions with Dan Pasternak. They understand what our concern is. I have offered to give him cut sheets of things that have worked well in other towns, because their primary desire is that their parking lot, especially towards the back, is very dark. And they don't feel comfortable about that. But they do understand that having too much light isn't really appropriate either. And so I believe that they're very interested in coordinating a solution to using down shielded lighting and to prevent glare.
Jamie,
Yes, but
I make a comment in regard to this? So I'm thankful that they're willing. I would like to see them amend their site plan and come in here and have a discussion, because I don't think that parking lot is what it was proposed originally. And if the back portion of it is not lit well, I'm not surprised, because I'm not sure the back portion of it was on the plan in the first place. So I feel like, you know, they should provide us with a lighting plan at a minimum and do an amended site plan to show what it is they're proposing, because there's been a lot of sort of loosey-goosey stuff.
When I was in the fall, and had the plan, I thought that the parking lot was where they said it was going to be.
It extends beyond the shed where the bar was gonna
We
be.
were gonna have
And the width is double what they proposed. They originally proposed pull-in parking to the right, but there is parking in both sides the whole way down. So I'm not trying to be adversarial with them. I want them to succeed and all the wonderful things, but I think that I feel as a planning board member that they have placated us. They had people living in the house when they told us that there were no people living in the house. They've done things that go in contrast to the site plan, and I just feel a little rubbed the wrong way about the whole thing. And I feel like this lighting thing was sort of over the top when I drove by, and it was ridiculous how lit up that property was. And as someone who lives in the community and has business in the community and has built buildings in the community and had to adhere to the zoning that the town had voted on to put in place, I just feel like they're kind of doing whatever, and I don't think that's right. So I feel like they should file an amended site plan and come in and talk about what they're going to do for lighting and put down exactly what they have for parking and get it straight so the town has a plan of what's happening.
I was gonna sit down with them with the cut sheets.
Yeah.
So I will instead let them know that that's the
Well, I
game.
mean, that's just my opinion. I'm only one member of the planning board. I'm not.
I'm all board on this because.
that makes sense.
I just think that you run down a very dangerous road when you let people kind of not do what they say they're going to do. And 2 years down the road, or, 5 years down the road, when none of us are sitting here, it runs into a real problem for the town.
It's similar to me to the Vernon Farm, when you have an informal presentation, which we've had for years and years, informal stuff. And so when it's not perfectly drawn out, done by someone's, hand draw, and then when you come and lay it out and it doesn't match, it creates a problem. And I think it will avoid that if we do that.
They do have an engineered site plan.
Yeah, so I think if they just place it on there, I think that would just help. That way we don't have.
And put it down for what it is. Put the parking in, put the spaces, put the lights, do all the things on the plan so that we can all look at it and have a conversation. And then, hopefully it gets approved and he can do what he needs to do. But it just only makes sense.
That's a shift from what I've told him. So I'll call him and tell him that when we meet, there's what we'll actually be talking about.
And I think the other thing is hours, because we don't want the lights on all night long. Just like we did with the gas stations, that they go down at a certain time, so.
I was really hoping to convince them to use the pipe ones that only emit light at like 3 sections at the top of a pipe that's only about 3 feet high. That's what I was hoping to convince them to do.
But I think that's great, but I think they also need to come in here and show us, oh, yeah, we're gonna use those pipes, and here's where they're gonna be, and here's how big the parking lot is, et cetera.
And we have details of lighting in our zoning, so they're gonna beat that.
My site is lit. It's got, street lights throughout the parking lot. There's, wall packs in the buildings, but it's all compliant to the ordinance and there's no light shed off the property and it's all downlight. That's not what's happening.
I think that was the most important issue I wanted to get across from them, because I did go by it and it is very bright.
And I appreciate that.
And for the purposes of safety, it's excessive for the purposes of safety.
Without doubt. And if there are concerns or issues with regard to illuminating the parking area for the patrons to go in and out of the facility, by all means, that's important. And we should make sure that, what he's proposing is compliant. Maybe that he can do, more than he realizes as far as the, lighting pattern around the lot, or I don't know, but we're not going to know that if he doesn't come in and have a conversation and have his engineer put the information on the plan. That should be an easy lift. They already have the plan.
To do indeed.
And one would presume his engineer will actually look at our ordinances to make sure that it's compliant.
I would imagine.
So that when they're coming in here, they're gonna say, this is how we're gonna do it, and it complies.
So it's really 2 separate issues. If you're talking with him about lighting ideas, you're basically keeping your purpose.
That's
But
fine.
inviting him to come here to discuss the approval of all of it, because it has an air of independently just doing their own thing. It's just a couple of things that have come across that way.
Yeah.
And I think that's just a cycle that we want to break.
They did, I do have the most recent months of water, but unfortunately they put it in a different format this time than they offered me before.
You just
And
ask.
offered me to open it. So I made that request of them to
Yeah.
go back to the old format.
And it came from a server in the Ukraine.
It was, he got it to me very quickly, but I couldn't get to it.
Any other comments related to the lighting? Okay. Proposed zoning information.
I sent along flyers for you,
Mhm.
and I think that we got them in time for deliberative session.
We're deliberative.
That was great.
Yep.
But I wanted, do you want something different? Are there, in Brentwood, what we're trying to do is have group meetings, either neighborhood meetings or like meetings at the library, meetings at both the Democratic Party and the Republican Party. They're very motivated in that town. And so we're just trying to get the word out as best we can, person to person. Because I had a discussion with council in Brentwood, fearing what will happen if our changes for multifamily fail. And it's a bigger problem in Brentwood because we've discussed how small Newfields zone is. There's a constraining feature here that isn't as frightful. But in talking with counsel about that, her response was brutal and like an assassin. If a town offers nothing different, you're going to do whatever the developer can show he's capable of getting. So getting the word out here, because we've taken a stand that we understand that multifamily is a legitimate thing to do, but we have put a fairly low threshold on it. And so if that were to fail, somebody could come in with to 30, 35 units per developable acre. And we're saying 8.
So despite the fact that the board has put forward language that will get voted on if the townspeople vote it down, you're saying that
State law as of July 1st, the state law simply says what your infrastructure will support.
July 1st, 2026?
26.
So these warrant articles say recommended by the planning board or?
Well, because we proposed them, the statutory language is right up front. It says, are you in favor of the, of amendment number 2 as proposed by the planning? So the presumption is if we proposed it, we're recommending it. It's not like a citizen's petition where we actually have a statement at the end of the article that says the planning board either recommends or doesn't recommend.
And there's no monetary tie-in, so typically there's no vote for favor or not.
Right by the board of
By the
selectmen.
select-
Right.
So should we have, we decided not to go to Facebook, have Sue send this out? And should we just say, let's pick a date and say, if we can discuss it at a meeting, if anybody, nobody's here tonight. Nobody's.
I honestly think that's a good idea. Just and for both, we don't stray very far from what our former ADU law was, so it isn't a,
If anything, we're tightening it up.
as nasty as it was.
Would it be a public meeting, like a planning board public meeting?
I think a planning board public, if the board was willing to meet again, I think that would be a great idea.
So somewhere between now, like in the next 2
2
weeks.
weeks, you'd have.
2 to 3 weeks, yes.
We could do 3 weeks is all we have, so.
So it would be Sue puts that out and says that the planning board will hold a meeting on, let's pick a date,
Say a public hearing.
public hearing.
Yeah, that'll let them know.
Public hearing.
Public meeting.
Public meeting.
Public meeting, sorry, public meeting.
These have already happened. There's no changing. It's really, and it's better to really call it
Informational meeting.
public information meeting.
Yes.
Because what we ran into before were people going to individual planning board members and saying, could this happen? Could this happen? And they were getting mixed messages.
Yeah.
So I think you got to watch out. We don't do that. This is when we were trying to change the definition with the conservation easement.
Right.
And it was unclear. So I think at one meeting there, here's your answer. This is coming from the planning board. And it's not, somebody calls you up and says, well, could I do this? Could I do that? So
Should we do it close to the vote?
I was gonna say, maybe the week before the vote, like the 5th of March,
when's voting? I thought voting was 10.
and
March 10th,
have an informational to run through
Tuesday in March.
I think that's a good idea.
So Thursday, the 5th.
Yeah.
I'm available.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't come to that. I could come to a meeting on the last week of February, but that's a bad week because it's school week.
Yes,
Yeah.
vacation.
It's school vacation.
Yeah, you don't want to do that. Nobody will be here.
I think it's important to have you there, Glenn, because it seems like
Is there a date?
then it's not coming from us, it's coming from you.
Are you away the week of the 2nd?
I'm my first week, so I have meetings Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday.
Oh,
But
Monday?
I could do Monday or Wednesday, actually, the first week in March.
when I can't do Monday.
What about the 4th?
I was gonna say,
You do
let's
the 4th?
I could do the Wednesday.
Oh, you could do Wednesday?
Then do the Wednesday.
Wednesday.
Because I have my second Wednesday, Thursday, third Wednesdays are taken.
Let's do the
First and
fourth. Yeah.
That's good.
7 o'clock?
Whatever.
I mean, I think that's a really good thing to do.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if we can answer some questions, hopefully it'll help the voters, make a determination and have as much information as possible, because it can be confusing. I've run into it as I'm moderating and people are voting. They're asking me all kinds of questions about what goes on with this and that. And
It can be, and the worst thing is if people feel like they don't understand it. So if we can get a blast out to people to tell them about this and then have the meeting that they can come to.
7 PM on the 4th?
Yep.
Okay,
Makes sense. Okay.
absolutely.
I think that's a really positive thing for the town to do.
Soon send it out with an announcement, there's a meeting, and then it has to get posted.
Yeah, it has to get posted, but only 24 hours in advance. You can post it earlier, but
When should the timing of Sue's email happen?
what's that?
When should the timing of Sue's email happen?
I think she sends an email out now
Okay.
And
with the announcement of the date.
Sooner rather than later.
And then she does it again at the end of February.
Yeah.
do it much,
Yeah.
Maybe the flyer goes with the email.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, totally.
I think
Oh, no, that's exactly it.
should be in the body of the email, not as an attachment. That way when someone opens it, they see page 1 and they see page 2 in the body of the email.
Yeah.
And something.
Read.
Yeah, that's actually a good idea too, because people fail.
You're not gonna want to click.
No, but-
What do you mean there was an attachment? What are you talking about? I didn't see that.
What's a PDF?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a very good idea.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Like it.
One piece of feedback Sue had shared on the night of the deliberative session, she was hoping one of the pictures, like this one with the detached ADU, would actually be a picture that shows the existing home with the scaled detached.
She did tell me that. She
Yeah,
did mention
if,
that.
I don't know if that's a change able to be made before she sends out a blast. If not, no big deal, but she did say it would glue it for people that an ADU is meant to be this adjunct, if it's detached, not as
I
big
mean,
a house kind of image.
I gotta tell, there is
Good image,
there's a 900 square foot
then it just doesn't matter.
ADU, no, in Kensington.
Yeah.
That's a detached structure
Yeah.
next to a larger house.
Mhm.
They're separated by about 35 feet. It is sort of the quintessential illustration of the detached unit
Mhm.
as far as size, and I'd have to stop and ask the guy if I could take a picture, but I think he wouldn't mind.
We actually have one that was just built here next to the school. It's a detached
Yes, in the
ADU.
back.
Oh, that's even better.
That's an ADU.
In the back?
Yeah, it's an
It's
ADU
an ADU.
One for sale?
That's behind.
above the garage.
Oh, but it's above the garage.
Yeah, but the house is right here,
It's attached with an apartment, just like that.
That image is above the.
but it's like right behind the house.
So you do see the house.
Oh, totally,
Oh, that's
totally.
Great shot.
that's it. That would be, if we could just,
Swap out the picture.
it literally is just swapping out.
Like you're looking to buy
If
it.
someone can send me just a JPEG of that,
Yeah.
I can do that in 15 seconds. It's so quick.
I'll grab the photo tomorrow and send it to you, Glenn.
Thank you very much.
On that burden, as always.
And this is in color.
Yeah,
And when they get it through the email, it
it'll
should,
be in color.
Yep.
because it does.
Community.
Yeah, definitely looks better in color. This is just a.
Should it also be posted like at the post office,
Mhm.
here, downstairs,
Yeah.
It is posted downstairs.
and probably post office? Well, once it gets, library.
So could somebody put it on a bulletin board at the school?
You can even put it on the sign out front too,
uh,
info session.
Yeah.
info session on,
Yeah, you just don't want this thing to be just randomly voted down because they don't want Big Brother telling us. I mean, I can
Because
see
the
that.
only one who shows up is Mike Mackey.
Like, you getting this? You get this all? You're soaking it in? Right. Good. Want to get the word out. We don't want to,
Okay.
Could I ask a question?
well, Jamie's the chair, but yes.
Mike Mackey, FinAv, and first off, I say thank you for doing this, because I was the one who harassed the select board about
having information on the warrant article describing what the zoning changes were. So I appreciate you doing it. And that's a really good document. My curiosity is, are you concerned that if the voters don't pass it, that the state law mandates a more flexible interpretation? Is that, or?
Exactly this was. It basically says that a developer can develop to the extent that infrastructure would allow.
So there's really no.
So
Open-ended.
it would all.
Exactly what Glenn just said, to the extent that the infrastructure will allow.
So if they run sewer over there, right? They'd go nuts.
But even if they don't, if they just have good land, if they just have good land with with a community well and a community septic system, you can get a lot of units on a parcel of land.
A big strain on water, septic, all of that too, right? Yeah.
You probably heard what Glenn mentioned early, but you know, we are proposing in the 8 units per acre range, and state law could allow up to, what'd you say, 35?
If you had a big enough parcel and you weren't riddled with wetlands, you could easily get buildings that have 40 or 50 units in.
Per acre.
Wow.
Per acre.
Yeah, look at Portsmouth.
Because
Yeah.
multifamily,
Go over at Hutchins, like land around Hutchins manufacturer,
yeah, multifamily units are limited, usually in bedroom count.
not commercial over there.
No,
Well, and not only that, but on the ADU language, right? If it doesn't pass, as somebody with 5,000 square foot home will be able to build a 2,500 square foot ADU.
It's.
And I think another thing,
Detached.
another thing that came up that was important is if our town's zoning isn't updated to match what's in alignment with the state, a resident of Newfields can't look to our own zoning to make a plan for themselves to see what they're allowed to do. They'd say, geez, I checked and it looks like I'm not allowed to do this, when in fact, maybe they really are. So our own zoning is a resource to our own residents as a source of information about what's permitted here. So it's kind of like a false representation of what's permitted if we're out of alignment with what the state is telling us we have to permit. It's just not fair to a resident who's relying on the zoning laws as guidance. They would be incorrect.
It's a bundle.
Good plan.
It's a bundle.
It's a good plan.
I'll say this, is anybody aware of anybody who's like opposed? Like has come out and said, I don't think we should do this?
I'm
I haven't run across anybody.
not sure people are that aware of it.
Yeah, and again, I, as long as there's no organized opposition, I tend to think these will pass, but
That's a concern. And the concern is if that generally happens really quickly and really late. And if people get indignant and all of a sudden they think, I've never really thought Newfields should have multifamily housing in it. And now my neighbor is telling me that we're going to.
That's not why I moved here.
Exactly, exactly.
ADU. Okay. Any update on CIP?
Absolutely nothing. Absolutely nothing. Other than, I mean, absolutely nothing from you guys' perspective. I did access does everybody know that every town report is available at UNH?
UNH,
On the UNH website?
browse them all.
It's a great resource. So anyway, I've gone, in the CIP, I like to show what the historical CIP expenditures are for the town. So I've gone on that website to get the CIP, the capital improvements projects that have been approved by the town for the last 5 years. So that's literally the only thing I've done since we last talked. But I love that website. I love that website. It was genius that they paid students to do it. That's a
Well, it's like granite.
beautiful thing.
It's a hell of a good resource too, just,
That is.
yeah.
The DRA has to improve their information access.
Does anybody have any new business to bring before the board? Then let's,
Oh, have they brought the Mylar in for that property on Piscassic yet?
yes.
Oh, they did.
Oh, it's been signed and
Signed
signed.
it, last
They,
week
they came and picked it up, I think, yesterday.
and Glenn reviewed it and, yeah.
No, they can sell
They can, they can.
If they had a buyer, as the price keeps going down.
it. Yeah.
That's so.
Okay, review of the minutes from last board meeting. Anybody have any comments, corrections?
I'll move them as written then.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Anything else before we adjourn?
Is Sue just gonna stay here forever? Can we convince her of that? I don't know if you guys have any idea how helpful she is to me all the time.
All of us.
Oh,
We all know. We all know.
She's
She's shooting for 50 years. She is, no, she.
is she seriously?
Yeah. Yep.
She's only 45.
I think she's got 30 some odd years as town clerk.
Really?
Yeah, 38 or something like that.
Yeah, I think.
In the state, yeah,
She wants to
Yeah.
break the.
state.
There's only two town clerks who have served more than 50 years.
Betty Willett was one in Kingston.
Yep. And then the other one was a gentleman, I think in Wolfboro, maybe. Somewhere up by the lakes. She's shooting for 50.
That makes me so happy because I'm not going, I'll be gone by then.
Every day.
I'll be gone by then, but I can't, I work with a lot of towns and I work with a lot of town clerks and I genuinely feel that usually they're the best resource in towns. But she goes above and beyond that.
That's why when there's a vote, she gets more votes than.
Anybody.
Anybody. Even the moderate.
Even more than you.
Absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
Has she mentioned that? I was before. Has she mentioned that to you before? She
Mentioned.
we both like elections, so we know the results immediately. Well, I'm glad that everybody understands that.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Second. Yeah.
Favor? Adjourn.
She's
I take it, I can take that.
No, that's not me.